If you've ever felt overwhelmed trying to figure out which workout works for you, how often you should train, and whether or not the training program that you're using is effective or not, don't worry, I've got you. Hello, welcome. My name is Jaden and I'm an online performance coach helping busy, career-oriented men live healthy and get in shape. And in this video, I'll be showing you everything you need to know in order to make the perfect workout program fit for you, your lifestyle, and your schedule. This video is broken down into 4 total steps, with the next step building on top of the previous one. And by step 4, I promise you, you would have already built your perfect workout program. So first and foremost, before we dive into everything else, we need to take a step back and figure out realistically how much time you have to spend in the gym. Now, a couple of things that are super important that you need to account for is, number 1, you have to account for commute time. A lot of guys, they program a 30-minute workout for them, they put it into a 30-minute time slot on their calendar, and they realize they simply don't have enough time to finish that workout. Why? Because they forgot to account for commute time. Number 2, you cannot be sacrificing bedtime for training. You should never ever take time away from your sleep in order to train in the gym. 7 to 8 hours of good sleep is probably more essential to you than training in the gym. And if you were to allocate that time sleeping to training, you wouldn't even be using that time in the gym effectively, since you won't be able to properly recover, you won't be able to properly build muscle, and everything just sort of falls apart. And last but not least, number 3, building on top of step 2, just don't train 2 hours before bed. When you put your body in a stressful situation, which is literally what we do during weightlifting, we're putting our muscles under stressful forces in order for our muscles to grow and adapt to those new stressors. When our body is in that state, you are automatically triggered to be in a fight or flight state, in which we are in the fight state. So when you're in the fight state, your heart rate is elevated, your adrenaline is rushing, dopamine is going crazy in your brain, a lot of neurochemical stuff going through your body. And after a solid workout session, this usually takes you around 2 to 3 hours to fully recover. So if you're hitting the gym or training within 2 hours before your bedtime, you could probably imagine that's probably not the best for your recovery or your sleep quality. So those are the 3 things that you have to watch out for. Now, what do you do if you say, hey Jaden, I simply don't have time? Well, first and foremost, I just simply need you to realize that it's an excuse. Take me, for instance. I work 10 to 12 hours a day. I'm a full-time college student. I run a 6-figure business. I go out, have fun, have a social life and everything. And I'm still able to build the physique and keep the shape that I am in now just by training 3 hours a week. That's literally all you need. If you are telling me you don't have time, that means outside of sleep, you're working 18 hours a day. That's probably not the case. So first and foremost, I need you to realize that it is an excuse. It's one of the biggest excuses that most of my previous clients come to me with that I help resolve. It's as simple as cutting out unnecessary screen time and leisure time. What I do is I realized I scroll a lot on Instagram and on my phone, so I downloaded a screen time limiter so that I can cut out unnecessary screen time and get the work done. And when I say leisure time, what I mean by leisure time, you get home from work, you're gassed out, you lay in bed, you lay on the couch, or you maybe grab takeout and you just don't do anything for the entire night. Now, those are times you think you need that rest, but in reality, you could use that time to hit the gym, and that would be so much more beneficial to you. It's all about taking that extra step to push yourself towards going to the gym rather than taking the easy way out and never making a change. And last but not least, I need you to realize 20 to 30 minutes a day of available time for you to spend in the gym rather than scrolling on your phone is still time. These 20 to 30 minute time blocks are super crucial for you if you are just truly short on time, because 20 to 30 minutes a day is a lot of time for you to get in shape. Now, with that being said, after you go through everything, your entire schedule, by the end of it, you'll probably have your availability. After we have that, how many days a week you can work, how many hours a day you can work out, then we use that information to figure out what is the best split for you. And I say this super often, the best workout plan is the one that you can train with consistently. It isn't the most flashiest, it isn't the hardest one to do, it isn't the easiest one to do. It's the one that you can train with consistently. It's the one that fits your lifestyle. It's the one that you fall in love with eventually. So my recommendations for the best workout split for you, depending on your days and your schedule. If you barely have one day, I'd say you probably have to go back and see whether or not you have a little bit more time to train. If you have 2 days, I'd recommend 2 days of full body workouts spaced at the very least 48 hours apart from each other. This allows you to stimulate all major muscle groups at least twice every single week. For 3 days, I'd recommend a push-pull leg split. For 4 days, I'd recommend an upper-lower split, which is the one that I run as well, and which is the one that I deem probably the most perfect for 99% of the entire population who wants to build an athletic, good-looking physique get in shape, stay healthy, but not train to become a bodybuilder. For 5 days, you can run an upper-lower split plus a dedicated cardio and supplement session. So cardio, meaning cardio-based exercises and activities, basketball, running, swimming, whatever you want to do. Supplement, meaning if you want to supplement your lagging body parts, if you want to strengthen your core, if you want to focus on a specific muscle that you just want to get to look bigger or get to look stronger, that's what you do on day 5. If you have 6 days, I'd recommend you run a push-pull leg split twice a week, although it is a bit harder for you to manage your central nervous system fatigue and your systematic fatigue, which is something that I would watch out for if I were you. If you are training 6 to 7 days, you probably are an intermediate to advanced lifter who already accounts for those type of things. So a little bit about gym versus home workouts. This is something that many people struggle with. They don't have access to the gym. They don't have time to go to the gym. They live too far away from the gym. So it'd be a stupid commute for them to make. What I have to say is whatever fits your life capacity is the one that you should go with. Again, the best workout program isn't anything flashy. It's the one that you can stay with consistently over a long period of time. I never want anyone to force themselves to purchase a gym membership if it's a heavy burden on their schedule, which will eventually just lead them to burnout. You know, the classic example of I purchased a gym membership at this gym 20 minutes away from where I live. I go there consistently for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then I suddenly realize I'm getting more and more busy, or I just lose the motivation. So I stop going, and that's when everything falls apart. Your gym membership is still there, but you're just not going. That's burnout. Something I do want you to note is effectiveness and variety will always come from access to gym equipment. Effectiveness meaning how effective that you can stimulate your muscles and how heavy you can train your muscles with. And the only way you can do those two, effectiveness and variety, is by having access to gym equipment. But I would say calisthenics is equally as good for health and aesthetic purposes. If you're not training to be a powerlifter, if you're not training for crazy strength, if you're just training for general health purposes and aesthetic purposes, calisthenics is more than enough. I've seen many people build very aesthetic, good-looking physiques just through training calisthenics alone, staying healthy, staying flexible, staying functional. Now, to end this off, I would say there are pros and cons for both. However, if you have the benefit of being able to access a commercial gym, a private gym, or just a gym, or maybe even a home gym, I would go with that. If you only have access to calisthenics or at-home workouts, I would recommend you get yourself a pull-up bar and an adjustable dumbbell set. These two are probably the most versatile things that you can have in your arsenal, which are relatively cheap, so that you are able to train yourself more effectively. Now, everything that we went over in step 1 is a good starting point, but you'll need step 2 to really figure out your schedule. You have to realize your goals determine how you train and what types of exercises that you should incorporate into your workout. Some types of broad goals that commonly appear are physical appearance, which is probably the goal that most people want. Health-oriented goals like living healthy, being less prone to diseases, getting sick, all of those things. Strength-based goals, meaning building up your strength for a specific strength-based goal, or just getting stronger altogether, maybe for sports, maybe for something else. Functionality-based, where you're training for functional movements like climbing, like jumping, these type of things that require a specific type of training to meet these goals. Pain relief and bulletproofing, meaning maybe you have lower back pain, maybe you have hip pain, joint pain, knee pain, whatever the pain is, you're using fitness, you're using training in order to fix them. And bulletproofing is something that I'll get to in a bit. And obviously, these are many types of goals, but you can have a combination of these goals. For me, my combination of goals are physical appearance, health-oriented goals, strength-based goals, pain relief, and bulletproofing. Those are probably the most important to me, and I make my own training plans according to these goals. So a little bit about hypertrophy versus strength. A lot of beginners think, oh, I should just train hypertrophy, because hypertrophy literally means muscle growth. I want to get bigger muscles, I want to look better, so I'm just gonna build more muscle through hypertrophy training. Wrong. That is the worst way to do it, and I'll tell you why. Strength-based training, on the other hand, serves to build up your maximal and average strength with the benefit of muscle growth on the side. And on the bottom, that little illustration of that chart kind of just shows you like there are differences between the muscle gain and the strength training you will between hypertrophy and strength training. Now, the reason you don't only want hypertrophy is because your muscles will adapt to if you only train with hypertrophy. At one point, your muscle growth is actually going to start to plateau because you only train for hypertrophy. So what I do is I incorporate both into my training, which is what I call hybrid training, which is what I program for both myself and all my clients as well. Hybrid training takes the advantages of both hypertrophy and strength, incorporates it into your workout, and allows you to simultaneously build your strength and get decent muscle growth on top of that, basically making it the best of all worlds. So what is bulletproofing? Obviously, as we all know, as our bodies get older, it becomes easier for us to get injured, develop chronic pains like lower back pain, sciatica, joint pain, all these things. Bulletproofing simply means building strength, mobility, and flexibility in problematic areas like your knees, shoulders, and back, so that you're able to alleviate that pain and quote unquote bulletproof yourself and your joints to stay healthy for a long period of time as you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s. This is something that I especially love incorporating in my workouts because I sit for 10 to 12 hours a day in front of the desk. I have lower back pain, I have sciatica, I've experienced all of those before, I have tight shoulders. I fixed all of those issues through bulletproofing myself, through core strengthening, through strengthening those particular muscle groups and areas, and it has truly been a huge help for me, even at the age of 20. And it just goes to show you, at 40, 50, 60, I've already built up a solid foundation of bulletproofing my body. I'm just gonna be much more healthier compared to my peers who don't necessarily do that. Now, when it comes to bulletproofing, exercises may vary, but they generally center around joint-friendly movements rather than flashy, explosive movements like jumping and acrobatic movements. So when it comes to bulletproofing, just think of it as this is the foundation of everything else that you're building yourself upon. This is the foundation of your muscle strength. This is the foundation of your joint strength. This is the foundation of everything else that you want to stack on top of it, whether it be hypertrophy, more muscle mass, strength, anything else like that. Without a proper foundation, if you're training hard for hypertrophy and strength and explosiveness, you're going to get injured. So bulletproofing is super essential, and I recommend everyone adding it to their workouts. So now tying them all together. Take me for an example. My goals are getting an athletic, fit physique. 2, I want to have explosive strength for sports. 3, I want to bulletproof my joints and my body and treat my sciatica and my joint pain, like I said. And so the training styles that I will incorporate is a combination of strength and hypertrophy training for goals 1 and 2, and core strengthening, flexibility, and stretching exercises and movements for goal 3. And I basically can incorporate all these types of training styles within one session that lasts around 45 to 55 minutes. So on paper, it might seem like a lot, but in reality, if you have smart programming, it's actually relatively easy for you to get all of these done, and all you have to do is train consistently for them to work and take effect. So now that you know what you're building towards, the next question is, which exercises actually get you there the fastest and the most effective? And for you, for step 3, I've made this super easy. I'm first going to go over the 2 ways towards building out your plan, and then I'm going to teach you how to find the best exercises as well as program your training program using AI. So there are generally 2 ways that you can go about making a training plan. Number 1, you can purchase a workout plan on the internet from your favorite influencer, from whatever website. You just have to know that's easy to do, but it's probably not the best. It's not the option that I will take. Number 1, they're mostly outdated. Number 2, they're less flexible with your time, with what equipment you have. Number 3, a lot of them generally are poor quality, since it is just like a PDF guide that your biggest influencer told somebody on Fiverr to make and is selling that to you for a premium. And last but not least, it just might not be suited for you. I've had quite a few times where I bought training programs from my favorite fitness influencers just to test them out, and pretty soon come to realize that they're just not suited for me and my lifestyle and my goals. So that's the reason why I would stay away from purchasing a workout program. Number 2, this is what I would recommend, is program your own workout. It takes a little bit more time, but it is highly worth it. You can add or remove exercises that you hate or you enjoy. You can make adjustments to your workout program depending on your time, depending on your goals, depending on whatever you want. It's highly flexible. You can change every single aspect of the workout program, and you can swap out and make substitutes of exercise equipments that you have or you don't have. And finally, it's literally made for you. You made this either just manually or with the help of AI. You have total control of what you want to incorporate in your workout. So with that being said, I'm going to quickly dive into my favorite exercises and workout templates and the AI prompt. In the link in the description below, I have a document that goes to the list of my favorite exercises by body part. And this list is basically from my 3 years of training experience, what I've deemed to be the most effective when it comes to muscle growth, when it comes to strength based, when it comes to hypertrophy based, and when it comes to just like overall effectiveness. Again, that will be linked in the description. And in the same document, I also created a ChatGPT prompt where you can attach the above list of exercises that you want to incorporate into your workout. You paste that into ChatGPT with this ChatGPT prompting, and it will basically build out the perfect workout for you based off of my workout templates and based off of the exercises that I found to be the most effective. So just to quickly go over my workout template and how I like to program all of my workouts for both myself and my clients, it's relatively simple. I first start off with 1 to 2 compound exercises. These are strength-based sets and reps, meaning higher weights, lower sets to really build up your strength. Then I follow that up with 2 to 3 isolation exercises. These are more primarily hypertrophy based, meaning higher reps, lower weights to build up muscle hypertrophy. 1 to 2 accessory muscle exercises. These are like your tricep exercises, calf exercises, bicep exercises, lateral raise exercises, deltoid exercises, shoulder exercises. And then I finish that off with 1 to 2 core exercises to strengthen your core and really help you build defined abs as well. So again, this entire document is in the link in the description. Again, first and foremost, pick and choose which exercises you want to incorporate. Step 2, just use ChatGPT to instantly create a workout plan based off of your parameters. Parameters that you can include are your goals, your workout split, your time limit. Everything that we figured out in step 1 and step 2 are for this moment, for you to actually program out your first 6-week training program. Now, after you have that program, what I would do is just download a workout log. I recommend this one on screen. It's called Strong Workout Tracker. You can just use the free version. It's super versatile. They have a huge library of exercises already pre-programmed. You can add your own sets. You can add your own reps. You can track your weights so that you are progressive overloading week over week. And it's just a great way for you to keep track of your workouts. I am not sponsored, by the way. All right, so now you have your first 6 weeks worth of program. But the thing is that this program isn't meant to last forever. It's not going to work for you forever. You need to know when you need to switch things up, how you need to switch things up so you don't fall into a plateau, which leads us into step 4, looking forward and how to adjust your program. Number 1, periodization. This simply means methodically switching exercises every 8 to 12 weeks to continuously promote muscle stimulation. When we talk about muscle stimulations, when your muscles face a new novel exercise or a new novel stimulus, such as lifting weights, switching out your exercises, different types of training, your muscles experience stimulation from these things that it hasn't experienced before. And so it rapidly grows to adapt to this new stimulus. But as you train consistently over time, the novelty slowly starts to decrease, the effectiveness slowly starts to decrease. And this is what I've been talking about when it comes to purely hypertrophy training. If you're only training for hypertrophy, the novelty starts to decrease. No matter how much weight you add, your body has basically used up all the stimulus that it can effectively take from that particular workout plan. So when it comes to periodization, we account for this decreasing stimulus by searching out our exercises periodically every couple of weeks, 6 to 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks, depending on how quickly you adapt to your current workout, so that your muscles are continuously experiencing new stressors so that it can continuously grow. To do periodization, it's as simple as incorporating phases. So you can incorporate phases such as strength, foundation, hypertrophy, hyperphase for your periodization. Every couple of weeks, just switch it out for these particular things and you'll be set. And last but not least, as you get more and more advanced when it comes to your fitness journey, your fitness transformation, your lifting journey, you'll start to realize your body just doesn't work as good as it used to. You used to be able to push yourself really hard in the gym, be able to recover relatively fast. But if you do that consistently over time, what you're going to realize is you're going to start to get weaker. Your recovery is going to get slower. Your testosterone probably is going to not be as good as it was before. This is called systematic fatigue. It's also called overtraining. So in order for us to not overtrain ourselves, not fatigue our central nervous system too much, what we do is we add deloads. So this is when systematic stress adds up week over week through consistent hard training, and it decreases the body's ability to quote unquote work. So thus deloads are necessary as a reset to overtraining and systematic stress. It's super easy to perform. Just be sure to incorporate 1 week where it's 50% less volume of what you do normally, 50% less weights, 50% total volume. Basically, if you can, cut your workouts by 50%, do that for a week and you'll be good to go. So those are the 4 steps. If you found that helpful, be sure to follow me here on YouTube and be sure to follow me on Instagram where I post daily so that you can learn more from me. Again, the exercise list and ChatGPT prompt is in the description. I also have a free guide in the description to help you build an athletic physique, no matter who you are or how busy you are. Like this video if you enjoyed it. If it's helpful, be sure to follow for more. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.